And on that first video, I forgot to finish problem number 8 here. We had this graph of y equals -4. We need to identify the domain and range. Okay, and we've talked about this in earlier sections this unit. The domain is what x can be. And notice this is a horizontal line that goes on forever left and right. The domain is what x can be, so that would be all real numbers. Okay, because it goes infinitely left and right. Now, the range, if it's just a horizontal line, notice every point on this line, no matter where you pick, the range or the y value is -4. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next special kind of function, and if you notice, all the ones on this page deal with absolute value. Anything absolute value is going to be a v. You are going to have to make tables now for the rest of these special functions. Not quite as easy as a constant function. So first one we're going to look at is number 10 here. And we have f of x, or y, is equal to absolute value of x. And we're going to make a table. Okay? Let me actually make this a little bit bigger here so we can go zoom in a little bit. So we're going to create a table. An XY table. Now, you can start out, let's pick like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Keep in mind that all these on this page are absolute value. They're going to V somewhere. Some are, and this is going to be the basic absolute value graph. You looked at this in intermediate algebra a little bit. So if we plug -3 in, it's y equals absolute value of -3. Well, that's going to be 3. Then we plug -2 in. The absolute value of -2 is 2. Absolute value of -1 is 1. Plug in 0, it's 0. Absolute value of 1 will equal 1. Remember, absolute value is always positive. Absolute value of 2 is 2. Absolute value of 3 is 3. Okay, if we plot those points, I'm going to make this graph even a little bit bigger here. We're going to plot -3, 3. So -3, 3 is going to be right there. -2, 2 is going to be right there. -1, 1 is going to be right there. 0, 0 is at the origin. Then 1, 1, this is where it starts to V back up. 2, 2, I was off a little bit with that 1 point. And then 3, 3 is right there. So this graph is going to look like that and like that. Okay, so let's go down here. We're going to identify the domain and range, and you did some of this in an earlier section. This graph does go infinitely left and right, so the domain is all reals. Okay, the range is what y can be. Okay, notice the lowest y value, or the minimum of this particular function, is 0. So it's basically all y values 0 and above. So we're going to write the range as y is greater than or equal to 0.